Welcome back. You're still watching Nile Cruise on Nile TV International from the Egyptian Space Agency as it was implemented in 2019 or 2018, and in 2021 we are having a hope of bringing the children to the table, the future youth and the future scientists as well, because there is progress here in Egypt in terms of having an Egyptian Space Agency, an Egyptian Space City, an African Space City as well here in Egypt, and we are drawing the children to it and attracting the children and the youth of Egypt to it in the near future. I'm honored to be having the engineer who had the idea to be coming up with a cartoon, a series in the holy month of Ramadan to be attracting the children to the dream of space, or the space dream. I'm honored to be having with me today on Nile Cruise and Nile TV International engineer Eman Al-Imam. Tell me more about the idea of it.
The Space Dream series is going to be on the Ramadan, next Ramadan, inshallah. It's about a competition announced by the Egyptian Space Agency to have some astronauts from children to be part of our missions in the Mars exploration program. During the scenario of the series and the filtration of the participants in the competition, we are going to simplify some knowledge related to space sciences and technologies about satellite types, satellite components, how the satellite is going to be launched to space. Also, what are the stages that any astronaut should pass through to be a part of a space mission. All of these are going to be covered through the adventures of the participants in the competition in the cartoon.
Okay, the impact of this cartoon on the kids or the means of education of these kids. What is the impact of this important, very important, of course, cartoon?
Actually, the idea of this cartoon is coming from our goal at the Technology Innovation Center to consolidate the knowledge of space and formulate the space idea of our kids to be able to participate in the future space of Egypt and the space world on a broad perspective. This cartoon is presented in a simple way to help in formulating the space mind of our children.
On the other hand, who wrote the episodes of the Space Dream? Who came up with the idea of drawing the children to the dream of space and Egypt invading space as well now?
The idea is came up from the team members of my center at the agency. The scientific sections or scientific knowledge of the space are prepared by us, and we have some workshops to formulate this idea in a drama that's suitable for cartoon episodes.
Of course, inside you're the head of the Technology Innovation Center, and a space day titled Egyptian Space Day, Space for Society was held. Can you tell us more about this special day?
The Egyptian Space Day is an open day that was held by the agency with the participation from some ministers and ambassadors from different countries to discuss some achievements of the agency in space during the last years and the future of space in Egypt. Yeah, the most important achievements is actually is the day has some panel discussions and some workshops for different categories of ages from 6 years to 30 years. We classify them into groups depending on their age, and they are going to have a hands-on workshop in which they are going to build a mock-ups about satellites, learn more about the satellite components and satellite applications, satellite types. All of these is presented in the Egyptian Space Day.
Of course, having or doing or implementing a cartoon like the Space Dream, it makes you work with the children, with the teenagers, with the youth of the future, with the future scientists who will be one day be here at the Egyptian Space Agency. How do you see the fascination of the Egyptian children with space now? Is it enough to be working and dreaming of invading the space for Egypt?
Actually, let me tell you something. We had a competition in our center about space world drawing competition. We asked the children from the age of 8 to 15 years old to draw something about space from their mind and describe this drawing from their point of view. We have about 100 participants from 14 governorates from Egypt. Actually, the result of this competition was amazing for us at the center, and we found that the kids are already very admired with the space society. They need somehow of coordination and organizing for their mind to be able to plan and to organize their mind to plan for the future and build their space future. I mean, this is what will be happened by some sort of simplified space knowledge, like what we already introduced in the cartoon.
How do they see the space now?
They saw it as something is inspiring them. They want to be astronauts, but they don't know how. That's what are going to teach them simply in the cartoon. What are the stages they are going to pass through to be an astronaut? How hard and how adventures they should pass through to be an astronaut. This is what we are going to introduce in the cartoon.
When you saw the drawings, how do they see the space now?
The departments of the Technology Innovation Center are three. Yeah, three departments. The first department is the Technology Innovation Department. The Technology Innovation Department is related with how we are going to transfer space technology to different classes with diversified background.
What are the Technology Innovation Center departments in the Egyptian Space Agency, Engineer Eman?
Whatever, schools, universities, even postgrads, research.
Education.
Yeah. The second department is about innovation, and it's related to watching the IP, the intellectual property, and helping researchers to have their patents with coordination from the Egyptian Patents Office. The third one is the grants department. It helps project managers to formulate their idea professionally in project that have outcomes related to adding positive values to our society, and we guide them after that in how to reach to granting authorities that can fund their projects according to the type of the projects. These are the three departments of our center. Yes, the visits of students from schools and universities to the agency. We have programs for them when they visit the agency. First of all, we have a tour for them in different labs of the Egyptian Space Agency. They can know about the outputs of each lab, which satellite component is going to be produced in that lab, what are the phases of the designing and the realization of this component. Then they have workshops about satellites and about international space stations, so they have an overview about space knowledge, and this helps in building the mind of the next generation.
In light of the Egyptian Space Day, you organized a visit for the Egyptian winners in the competition of Nawabigh Al-Arab for the Egyptian Space Agency. What was the reactions of the winners?
The Genius Arab in Space, it's a competition held by UAE Space Agency. The aim of the competition is to grant some talented youth from different Arab countries to qualify their talents in space sciences and technologies. There was 10 winners. Three of them are Egyptians. We are going to host the three Egyptians at EXA, and they are going to have a tour in our facilities at the Space City. Then we will have an online live event for them on our Facebook page, the Facebook page of our center. This will have an opportunity for live interaction with different youth classes in our country. So they will ask questions, and the winners are going to answer to inspire the youth with being like them, and grants some opportunities like that.
I think that the United Arab Emirates is a country in the Arab world who is very interested in space and invading space and sending astronauts from the United Arab Emirates into space. How can this reflect on the Egyptian youth and the Egyptian teenagers now, that they see another Arab state interested as Egypt is?
Something like this competition, Nawabigh Al-Arab, when actually, I think the participants in this competition was about 37,000. from different Arab countries. Something like this inspire the youth to participate and to share and to see something is going to be realized. It is not just a dream, it's something can be achieved on earth. So they can have a way to achieve what they are dreaming of. This is what makes the UA program and the Egyptian Space Agency program have, let's say, some participants or the next generation that can build the space future of our world.
Okay, such an interesting and, of course, informative interview, Engineer Eleman, head of the Egyptian Space Agency Technology Innovation Center. It was a pleasure to have you with us today in our episode of Nile Cruise. Thank you so much for joining us. Ahmed?
Yes, we'll be having a quick break, so stay tuned.